So kick back and listen, it'll make you grin. Every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Hey. It is Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Pilgrims Great Chronicles. I'm your host, Robert Clark, and welcome aboard. Welcome to the long road. Welcome to the inn. Welcome to where we all hang out as fellow pilgrims. I appreciate everybody who shows up to listen, every last one of you, and had a number of comments this week, especially on the Mazaroth clock video, God Sky Clock. Always good to get the encouraging ones. So I'm always going to highlight those first if I can, because I can, and because it's good to encourage one another and to edify. And it's so rare, really, that like, for instance, how often, like, you go through a drive-through or someplace and you get good service, do you just say, hey, I think you guys did a great job, have a good night, so just something simple, but nobody ever does that anymore. So that's why I definitely want to take time to acknowledge you all that listen and respond and take action and do things, because I really, really do appreciate it. And it's also very encouraging. Like, I'm tired tonight and have had a very long day at work. And so to have the encouraging words really makes you feel like you're helping people, and it just, I guess it's sort of an inspiration when, like little extra fuel in the tank, when you just really don't, you just want to, like, brush your teeth and go to bed, if you know what I mean. So let's kick it off with this one. I think this, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of my favorite listeners from Australia, but I'm not 100% sure because I can't remember and my brain is tired. But says, thank you for your podcast and the work you put into it. I can't wait for Tuesday nights. I guess it is, because it says, as I am in Australia. So that's the time for me to listen to your podcast. And I am blown away, so to speak. I have had some knowledge of the Mazaroth. Mr. Chuck Misler, I love Chuck Misler, did a DVD on it, and I found it very interesting. Your podcast is shining the light on this very subject. I can't wait for next Tuesday night, and I will be playing this a few times. Love it. Thank you. And then he says, I am convinced that is the time that Daniel spoke of in Daniel 12:4, where it says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. I love that Job chapter 38 that you spoke of puts things in perspective. I just happened to come across Job 39:26 this week, and it speaks of the hawk flying by, wisdom, her wings stretched toward the south. I think this is God giving us a hint that the earth is flat. That's the only way the hawk's wings could point, to the south, not a ball. And thank you again, Dominic. Keep up the kingdom work. I will definitely do that. I'm not going to stop unless, somebody like the Committee of 300 and one of their front groups decides to shut me down and take me out. So, and if you don't know who that is, hang tight, because not next Monday, but the Monday after that, I'm going to go into, I know I've already done a show about the tactics of the they, but it was barely scratching the surface. It was more of a vague historic overview of what is generally speaking going on. Now I want to get into some specifics of what's going on in our world with some of these bloodlines, who they are, what their organizations are, how they work in this world, how they work through money, how they work through infiltration, and how they are literally everywhere. I believe this is going to be pretty much the future one world religion is going to be based off of the mystery religions that have been around since before the flood, and they are sponsored and brought to you by the little g gods or fallen angels, the watchers that rebelled, what have you, basically running the earth. They live for great, and this has me torn because I'm not 100% sure what happens. I don't know if they just physically live forever and reconstitute their health in a vampiric way through blood and the devouring of humanity in some way, shape, or form, or if they only get to live to be about 120 years, like us, and die like any prince, right? That verse that says that. And then they have to reconstitute themselves somehow, either through birth or birthrights or rituals and so on. I'm still up in the air on that one and studying it. But that's what we're going to be going over. Probably, I don't know how many episodes it'll be, but definitely want to get into that. But next Monday, I'm going to be going over what I mentioned a couple weeks ago about I know I've already covered Satan's Little Season, but I wanted to go over this basically transcript comment by comment by comment about LT's mixtapes podcast, which I normally think are generally really well and well done. I like him, and this is not to denigrate him or anything. I think he's a really great podcaster and he's got a good show. I just took issue with this one particular show that goes into Satan's Little Season, and basically the primary thing that's brought up is what a generation is. Is this in Matthew 24, is Jesus talking to the people right there that he's looking at in that audience, and everything is supposed to happen to them? Everything by AD 70. So we'll go over that, and I'll explain why I don't agree with that view. And I've touched on it in another video, but that one was like right around an hour long, but it was about a number of different subjects. And so on this one, I'm just going to spend most of my time covering specifically that particular subject from as many angles as I can, so that people will understand we're not in Satan's Little Season. We are still awaiting an Antichrist. Jesus has not returned yet. Just like Paul had to tell the Thessalonians at Thessalonica, don't stress. The end is not here yet. So anyway, Dominic, I really appreciate from Australia. First of all, I think it's awesome that we have people listening in Australia. It's really great. I've always wanted to go visit. I'm a big Tolkien fan, so I've always wanted to go to New Zealand nearby. Oh, well, I say nearby. It's not like you could swim across. I know it's not nearby, but I've always wanted to go see the movie set of The Shire and all of that. I think that'd be really cool if I could handle the flight. I don't like flying, and I don't like being on a cruise ship. I don't like losing sight of land, if you know what I mean. There's just something about it that bugs me. I'm not really sure what. I don't necessarily fearful. I just I don't know, because I trust God, but I still don't like it. It just feels weird to me. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to other comments. I'm not going to read this one that was a comment to Dominic because it's not worthy of reading. But I did let him know that this gentleman underneath, I will generally let some things slide. I don't like people insulting other people, like calling somebody insane or dumb or moron or a jackass or whatever the case may be. I don't like it. But I'm willing to tolerate it somewhat if you take the time to actually deal with the content of what somebody said and make your case. Because then I have something to respond to. I don't like trading insults back and forth. I'd rather deal with what's said. I don't like ad hominem attacks. And I'll just shut it down. I will block and whatever. Anyway, so you've been warned. If you just insult people for the sake of insulting, I will just get rid of you, and you won't be able to have anything to do with the site. We don't need that here. I don't mind differing views because I don't delete differing view comments. I just politely explain to you why I disagree with what you're saying, and I don't insult you at all. So that being said, let's, like I said, move on. Some of these are in foreign languages, and I don't quite understand them. So I'll skip some of those, and we'll go to Matt Miller, who says, and if you're listening, he was saying that, so if Tartaria was destroyed, it was to hide that they are the true source of God. I don't know what you mean. So I just asked you in a question to that if you could elaborate, because I'm not 100% sure what you're saying. I don't know if you're saying that I'm saying that or if you're saying that. I don't know. So I can't properly respond to your question or your statement until there's some clarification there. But I'd be happy to. And then that was a comment on our Tartaria video. I've actually got two more comments on that. I'm just going to read this other one. It says, and I found this one kind of interesting. It says, this is so Christian-based. Everything that can't be understood or out of the ordinary is demonic. If there's not a Bible verse supporting it, it's wrong. And then there's a DF, and I'll just leave it to your imagination to whatever. He says, you do know that the knowledge of this world is not all contained in that one book. Tartarian history is vast and wasn't all evil. You didn't even scratch the surface about this advanced society. Just a very skewed religious version. No more lies. So much of history is pure lies, and a good portion of this video is continuing to perpetrate it. SMDH. Well, it's clear you didn't watch the entire video. Because nor did you read the tagged comment right under it, because right under that I list like all the sources that were utilized to make the video, and there's like 10 or 15 different books that are not the Bible. And the main reason the Bible was brought up at all in that video was because Tartaria is associated by a lot of people with the Millennial Kingdom. Some people believe it was the Millennial Kingdom. And I spent a good chunk of the video refuting that, saying I don't believe that's the case, because if you look at the architecture, you look at many of the things going on there, it definitely is not what you would think you would find in the Millennial Kingdom, especially the gargoyles that are bent over pleasuring themselves. So I won't go into details, but there are even more disgusting gargoyles and statues and so on. So I would just and I've also done another Tartarian video where I specifically go over the technology. So These kind of comments are usually people who have the attention span of a goldfish and watch maybe 5 to 10 minutes, skip through the video, different parts of it. As soon as they hear anything Christian or biblical at all, they have an instant dislike and make comments like this. I don't know if this is the case with this particular person, but I am finding that some people are just very hostile to the Bible, Christianity in general, and I don't understand it because it's a part of human history going all the way back to the beginning of humanity. To ignore it is to ignore history. So that's on you and your own ignorance if you want to just completely blot out a book like that. Well, a collection of 66 books or more, depending. I know the Eastern Orthodox churches never took Enoch out; they left it as canon. So, and then one of my favorite people, Rebecca, says, "Oh, I love your show and your views. Can't wait for your videos on why we are not in the little season and why Yahshua has not already come back. I have been doing a lot of research down this line to show my fellow brother who believes these things is going down the wrong path. If they do believe that, I think they are too, obviously. But the Greek word generation used in the New Testament has a bigger meaning. Yes, it absolutely does. So glad you are on board with the flat earth model because it goes hand in hand with that. I completely agree. It's when I deal with the flat earth model, I try to use when I'm initially talking to a person who can't handle the paradigm initially because we have all from birth been immersed in heliocentric propaganda. I've gone over that in my videos on flat earth. That the Jesuits and others, the people I'm going to be going over in a couple of weeks, control that narrative. And when you start to look into it for yourself, rather than just listening to the propaganda, you begin to realize there's more to the story about flat Earth and heliocentrism than meets the eye. Just the fact that we can pull a ship back over the horizon that should be, a couple of 100 feet under the curvature, according to their own calculations, should be enough physical evidence to at the very least, get somebody who's heliocentric to consider the idea that either the Earth is far more large and the curvature calculations are off, or the Earth is not what they're telling you it is. Something is not right. But, and I like those kinds of observations because they can be repeated over and over again and time after time, which is what you have to persuade most people who are just beginning to hear about this paradigm, because most people's initial reaction is going to be, oh, you're retarded. Really? You cannot possibly believe that. Oh my gosh, you're a flat earther? I mean, it's like, it makes them angry. It makes them shocked. And it's because it's all they've known their whole life. We all went through it, right? Anybody who has taken on this subject and done the deep research for it, you don't want to become a flat earther initially. It's like you have to look at the information being presented and take an honest look at it rather than just reject it because you've been brainwashed by they into heliocentrism. It's all you've known your whole life. So of course you're going to have a reaction like that. Like, oh, only retards believe that. No. I mean, I can almost guarantee you everybody right now who's a flat earther used to think that same way to some degree and thought it was absurd and ridiculous and didn't even give it the time of day until they looked into it. And then once you look into it and you see that there's plenty of information to support it, both biblically and scientifically, you don't just scoff it off and laugh it off any longer. You either begin to believe it or you start digging even more. But you can't just dismiss it with propaganda-based, oh, that's ridiculous. So, anyway, thank you once again, Rebecca, for your kind comments. And I look forward to doing the shows. I really like handling this material because I feel like it's stuff that God puts on my plate and puts in front of me and wants me to deal with, and I want to be faithful to that and honor it, even if it's a subject I sometimes don't feel like covering, because I ask God every week, what should I do? What I've got this, and this. What do you want me to do? What should I do? And I am completely obtuse, so I need God to like put it up in a neon billboard in front of me usually, because I'm always praying for God to help me to be discerning and to have wisdom, because it doesn't come easy to me. I hear some of these people on different shows, and it's just like, well, God spoke to me and whatever, and I think God speaks to me too. I'm just, I just feel like I'm not as good a listener as they are, or something, or maybe something's wrong with my brain or heart. But I have to wrestle with it. To, I guess I don't know if it's that I doubt myself. I don't doubt God, but I just want to make sure I'm not getting in His way. I guess maybe, I don't know. If you struggle with that too, just let me know, because I envy those people who tell me that it's easy for them or whatever. All these people that seem to be able to communicate with God and just absolutely know. I mean, that's that's a blessing. What can I tell you? Don't take it for granted if you're experiencing that. And then Rebecca also commented that there is so much written in the heavens. As a flat earther connecting scripture with the heavenly Mazzaroth, I see Polaris marking the throne of Yahweh, where all the heavens revolve around. When looking to the north, where the throne is, Mazzaroth turns east to west. Beautiful mysteries are hidden in the message of the stars if you start with Leo and go backwards with the story, ending with Virgo. I'd love to send you my file of how the story reads if you go backwards, the way the heavens turn when you have your eyes on the throne. Feel free to. I think in the description of all of my at least Monday videos, I put our email in there for contact, and it is pilgrimsgray@gmail.com. If you want to send us anything, if you want to ask us anything, if you want to be on the show, if you want to talk for an hour with me for the show or whatever, I'm happy to do that too and make arrangements. But yeah, if you've got something really cool to look at, I'd love to see it and comment on it. Just send it to pilgrimsgray@gmail.com, and it's PILGRIMSGREY. Did I get that right? Yeah, pilgrimsgray.com. It's in the show notes, so I think you can just click on it, and it should pull up your email if you're on a computer or on your cell phone, and you can just automatically email me from there. Several of you have. That's how I've gotten the music. A lot of the music. Some of it comes from me and the band, and some of it's just me, and then some of it is from like our main theme song on Mondays is from some fans of the show that just did some music knowing I was a Tolkien fan. So it's really great stuff, and I appreciate everything everybody does. We have another comment here where it says, Revelation 12 reveals the King of Judah. Preachers say it's Jesus, but no verse confirms this. The Davidic covenant has been fulfilled by a man raised up by Yahweh who walks the earth today. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I would need way more detail on that, John. So feel free to spell it out because I'm not 100% sure what you mean by the first half, but I would probably strongly disagree with the last half, but I don't know because you haven't made a case for it. You're just letting me know about it. And I find that interesting. Maybe I'll research it for myself. But if you want to elaborate, feel free to do so in the comments. And then from another country, we have somebody who says the sky clock is rubbish. Well, that's fine. Be great if you would tell us why you think it's rubbish, but great. But so often, people who do that just drop their comment and run. It's amazing. And then another person from, I'm using a translator for this, says heartfelt song. I assume they're referring to the one at the end that that I put on there for, let's see. Oh, no, this is for the Sky, God Sky Clock Part 2. So I'm not 100% sure which song they're referencing, but I would just say thank you. I appreciate it. And another one, the Song of the Dead. Maybe that's the one he was referencing. I must have done a song. I'm trying to remember which one that is because I think I put like 3 or 4 songs in there. Either way, I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. And then the funny thing is, the very next comment is somebody commenting on an old video. I think might have been a reel, not a video, but like a short or whatever that I did on the Bulls of Bashan when I was kind of interested in some of the creatures of the Seed War and going over some things. And so I did a video on the Bulls of Bashan. But at that time, I was having to use just type out my scripts and have AI read it. And AI would also put like music over the background. I don't even remember the program I was using, but I got so many negative comments about the music, like this one that says, "What's with the horseshit music?" Excuse my French. I couldn't agree with you more. I didn't care for the music either. If you notice, I turn it way down. And eventually I just eliminated it altogether because I thought it was crap too. Hopefully you appreciated the information in it and looked beyond the music and enjoyed some of the animations and the AI art that I came up with for it. So, and then we have 2 people from another country saying thank you and God bless you and amen on the Sky Clock Part 2. That one really took off. I think we currently have 17,000 views on that one for the week. I'm not sure. Anyway, I had some other things I wanted to share with you before logging off for the night. I wanted to start sharing things with you that I come across on my X account, which is Pilgrims Chronicles on X. If you want to, I'll start adding that in my description so that if you want to connect with me there too, you can. But, okay, so there's a few things here. I wanted to play for you. Like, okay, so I found this very interesting. I'm going to play it for you, and hopefully my microphone will catch it. But it's a guy talking about time, and I found this really interesting. So hold on one second, I'll play it for you. Or not. Hold on. Technical difficulties here. Why am I not getting sound? Oh, that could explain it. Why does everything have to be so annoying? All right. So let's turn up the volume. And restart. Okay, here we go. It should work this time.
There is no time.
Okay.
Period. Have you ever been to the past? Or the future?
Thought. Past is thought.
No. You think of the past, but you think of the past now. Have you ever actually been to the place called the past that you think about?
No.
It's not possible. Nobody's ever been there. It's a belief. It's just a belief that we all take for granted. Is it your experience that the now is moving along a line of time from the past to the future? Is the now moving? And how long does the now last?
I don't think I've ever measured it.
It doesn't. It doesn't last. The now doesn't last in time. There is no time for the now to last in. Now is not a moment sandwiched between these two vast spaces. There is no vast space at the side of the now. The now that is not a moment. These are New Age ideas. They have nothing to do with truth or reality. The now is not a moment. Now is eternity. The ever-present, not the everlasting. But when that now is filtered through the limitations of the mind, it appears as time. The mind is like a prism which refracts the now, which has no dimensions, into a single dimension of time.
Well, it's easy for you to say. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting and wanted to share it with you all. Also, a couple other things I want to share with you. I put this on my account. I said this. I said, I see posts all the time saying, are you ready for this rabbit hole or to discuss this? You know, people are always doing that, and then they'll put some sort of clickbait BS on their thing, right? But I said, how many of them have ever mentioned the rabbit hole that is Racine, Wisconsin? I'll bet not many. And the reason I say that is because there's a whole lot of activity that goes on that is connected to Racine, Wisconsin, that deals with the elites in this world. And you would never know it. Nobody ever talks about it. But it's a great rabbit hole to look up and start doing some investigation on your own. I might do a show on it if I get enough interest in it. The other thing I would tell you is that for those of you who don't know, the G in the Mason symbol does not stand for God or geometry like so many popularly believe, but rather something called the generative principle. And when I say that, I'm not talking about their pathetic smokescreen explanation for it, but something else instead that I might go over in a future show also. And I think, I wanted to read this to you. So I saw this thing on research, and I'm going to read it to you real quick. And this will be the last thing I share because we're going on 30 minutes and I got to go to bed. But this says, I don't know why this person thinks this is terrifying, but that's how they started this off. Probably just to attract attention. And I hate that. So my show will probably never be that way. I don't like the flashiness. I don't like all the bells. I just want good content and people to want to hear good content. I don't want to train you like so many people do, like puppy dogs, with all the flashy stuff and all the ridiculous stuff, with clickbait and all that. I don't. I know the reason people do it is because it does get your attention, because we've been so conditioned to just have constant flashing and symbols and excitement and whatever. But I'd rather have good content where we dig, right? So if I put any sort of entertaining content in there, it'll just be music. And at some point, I know I keep saying I'm going to get a camera. I'll get a camera. Mostly for when I start doing interviews. I would like to start doing interviews now, but it's very difficult to get a hold of people and make arrangements, especially when I'm working 50 hours a week. So, anyway, we'll read this. This is terrifying. Scientists found that our body, emits an invisible glow of light which disappears when we die. A scientific experiment showed that living things like animals and plants emit a faint glow of light while alive, which disappears after death. Researchers from the University of Calgary and the National Research Council of Canada studied this using mice and plant leaves. They found clear evidence of this very weak light called ultra-weak photon emission, or UPE, which seems to stop when an organism dies. Dan Oblak, the senior author of the study, said, "This really shows that this is not just an imperfection or caused by other biological processes. It's really something that comes from all living things." Well, I guess that's not shocking. My comment on this person's post on X was that, I got to scratching my head thinking, I'm pretty sure there's this zinc thing, they call it, I think. I can't remember the exact name for it. But at the moment of conception, there is a very brief, like 40 nanosecond flash of light at the moment of conception, which I can't prove it, but my heart tells me, and I feel like that is your soul entering into this biological world at that moment. It's generated right there by that interconnectivity. And God places or breathes his life of light into you in that moment, and then you grow. And he weaves you together right there for a purpose. You have a purpose. And when I say that you have a purpose, and that's one of the reasons they like to preach heliocentrism, I know Rebecca will know what I'm talking about. They want you to feel like you are no more significant than a swarm of gnats hitting a windshield. That's why there's heliocentrism in a massive universe where we are insignificant. But if you knew from studying that this is it, we are it, this planet right here with a firmament dome in a geocentric, this Earth doesn't move, with a sky clock above and a God enthroned above this, looking down on you, who loves you, it kind of changes everything, because you don't have any other explanation than there must be that God that's mentioning this kind of world in Scripture. So with that being said, let's have a great rest of the work week, and I will see you all Friday night. Don't forget also to spread this word out and to share and to make sure you click the bell or anything that can make sure that you get notifications. Follow us if you're listening on Spotify or any other streaming service. If you're on YouTube, click the bell and share. The more pilgrims we have walking the road, the more this message gets out, and the more fellow pilgrims will be walking around, right? We want our community to grow and for people to hear interesting things about the world that they've never seen or heard before, right? And so I appreciate all of those folks who are encouraging and being positive and sharing. And of course, you can always visit and support us at our stores and get our merchandise. It's really great stuff. I have some ordered, or I have ordered some. I've ordered one of our hats. They're really nice, the distressed hat. And I also have a hooded sweatshirt, which is really nice. Very soft on the inside, doesn't shrink. Same with the shirts. I got a Dusty Rose one from my wife, but I wear it because I actually like the way it looks. And I've always liked Chuck Connor's All Stars high tops. So I have high tops with our band's album on it at our band's website, pilgrimsgray.com. And I love them. They're way more comfortable than normal Chuck Connor's All Stars. They're softer on the inside and have a better footsole bed to it. And the print on it looks really cool. It's amazing. I'll see if I can put a photo of it up someplace somewhere so you can see it. But you can see them in person on the, at our merchandise thing on our band website. So let's play out. You guys have a great rest of the week. See you Friday.
time for a listener. Emails, comments, and stuff they send in.